Hi guys, I'm back. I know I've been gone a long time, like 2 months I haven't played this game because I was sick, I was busy with work, I was playing a lot of Fallout 76, did some videos on that. Um, anyway, but I haven't given up. I started playing, I think I did like 20 or 30 games last week, and then a little bit more this week so far. But I wanted to go and make a video again. There's been a lot of changes to this game since I've left. They've got a bunch of new units. They've been doing a lot more of this league stuff. Alicia actually got a big reward for, if I could see this, that's not what I meant to do. Maybe it's still in here. Claim your reward celebration bundle now, which for whatever reason it says the gift's already been claimed. But it still shows as an unread thing. But Alicia Destiny, yeah, she also makes videos. Very good player. Plays on the computer though, which does give an unfair advantage, but I don't want to take that away from her skill at all. I play on phone. I literally cannot do things that she can do because of the interface. I don't have a mouse. I've got to move my finger and click. So click, click, click. That's as fast as I'm going. Where she can click, 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 click. But she is very skilled and did a very good job. She's like number one on this game, I guess, now, or has been even since I played before. In the top 2, 3 usually. So that aside, you go, girl. Good job. Into this game though, I was high up there, I guess, when I stopped playing, which was back in like November or something like that. Which, yeah, it says November 5th is when I stopped. I was like Tiberium League 2, and then I came back on January 7th. So a little, okay, more than a week ago, a little bit longer. But I played like 30 games then, and then wait, no, that's when the season started. It was January 7th. Okay, no, I said that a little wrong. I thought that was what I actually played. So the season I came back in ended February 4th. So before February 4th, it was like a day or two before that. So yeah, so in February, came back, started playing again after stopping in like November, December. Played 30 games then, looks like 40 games after. But it dropped me in league because I guess I hadn't been playing, even though they said you're not going to lose league. Now we've lost leagues, okay? Guess that happens each season though, because when I came back, I was platinum. And then the next season started, it dropped me to gold. I've already gotten one back up to like platinum again, but I think I've literally only lost one match, which is weird. No, two. I lost two because I had a phone call and screwed over one. But one that I was playing, which was during the tournament thing, there was like 15 matches you got to do, and I won 14 of the 15, which is nice. You get the gyms a lot more now. I'm probably saying things you guys all already know, but I wanted to make another video and let you know I'm not gone. I'm back. I did take a little hiatus for multiple reasons, but and show you some gameplay of some of my previous matches and talk about some of these new units, how the meta has changed a lot. I don't know if the game's slower or if it's just me. It feels like all the units are moving slower. Maybe the game was always that slow and I just was thinking it was going to be fast-paced in my head because I always did so much at once with multiple units on the field. Anyway, I've watched one of these last like 3, but they were all very different, and it was me going through just this GDI. Well, that's what I was doing. It's lagging a little bit here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that was the one I already watched. All right, so we'll start with this one, and we'll do just the last 2 as well. What was before that? Maybe I want to show 4, and now my game's not. Yeah, I've got that army. That guy didn't do anything interesting. Let's go ahead and rewatch this. I did not do great on these, but they were all interesting matches for one reason or another. This guy, Manicist, was, if I recall correctly, actually beating me. But, I messed up a lot. That being said, he didn't use his units that he was winning with properly. And I believe I just won the game because of that. Listen, I'm fighting people in lower leagues. They're still learning because it's dropped me, but I think a lot of them have dropped as well. And some of them are, because he's got stuff, his hero's higher level than mine, so he should be at my skill level. And if he didn't take a break, perhaps above it. although should be and is you know, he's rushing me. And I didn't. If I waited a second longer, I would not have built an APC or not APC Rhino. Still making that old mistake. I should have built a Pitbull right off the bat. Or built a barracks and some rocket squads, but I didn't see a guy, and I built it to go and scout right as this guy rolled in. So it was bad timing on my part. Trying to maneuver my harvester out, then back over there. Hopefully he would go around, and try to get my Pitbull over there, and then get the harvester out. Didn't quite make the harvester, so he got the harvester rush. He is winning at this point. My other harvesters go the other direction, so I'm going to have a huge money disadvantage. And he built a second harvester, so he's really wanting to push some late game units quickly. So this gives me a unit advantage. I start using that to pressure at him and fight his harvesters. Yeah, I let my Rhino die. I didn't see any infantry. I was more just trying to get him focused off of it while my Pitbull can kill his harvester. He gets the flamers. He takes up my rocket squads. Again, another big mistake for me. I shouldn't have sat there with him. That was really bad. I've got a Pitbull for his bikes. I've got the Rhino for the flamers. And I'm trying to just double attack his guys as much as I can. And I realize the missile's about to fire. Get my Pitbull out of there. Get my Rhino. They're like, okay, he's won that top one. I'm going to go take both the other two. And he's got, look at this, he's got 1, 2, he could have just moved the harvester and had all 3 of those units pushing it on the other bases, or at least 2 of them. But he had, I mean, he did bring 1 down, but I didn't let him get in. He didn't even neutralize it. So, again, he was just sitting there with way too many units at the top, I believe, and that's what cost him that first missile. And even though he's winning the match, unit-wise, money-wise, he's losing it missile-wise. And then he brings in his big tech unit, and he's pumping out these spiders, which are going against infantry in air. I'm not even building infantry in air. I've been building vehicles. Actually, this was stupid of me. Like, I'm going to build some infantry to deal with his air unit, but then I'm like, oh, yeah, he's got the spider. Trying to focus on his harvester. So now I'm getting my money up there. And this build I'm using is actually one based off of Alicia Destiny's deck. She uses shock troopers and the jet troopers for the infantry. I didn't like that because I felt there was a weakness to air with that deck. And even though she had the movement speed and the harassment, a lot more harvester harassment, I like the ability of using the snipers better than the shock troopers for the range to deal with like scarabs and stuff, or use them as a support. And then the rockets wants to help me deal with the air in case I run into something like this situation. But anyway, let me pause this for just a sec here. It didn't work out so well because he was guarding it with those these new units. I forget what they're called. They look like spiders. But he left people on the top and he left people on the right. He had 2 units on each. He didn't really press into the other one. I brought in the mammoth tank. Let me hit play again. And I just demolished everything he had up top, taking it from him. And I didn't even go for the bottom right. Like, I've got 2 units sitting on the other. I've got the top. He's bringing in that air unit, and I can buff that mammoth, make it 60% stronger. It can take out that air unit. It is a great anti-air unit when you make it 60% stronger with the hero's buff for the hero that I am. So, I mean, I had that one in the bag at that point, but he could have really easily moved the spider or the plate, or both of them, over and taken the bottom left from me. If he had put the pressure on me and taken that other point with his units, or if he just brought the flame guy down and neutralized it, you know, a lot of could have changed there. He had a very strong army. I was turning it around at the end, but the only reason I won is because he didn't use his units. He just sat on them. He sat on 4 units on 2 points, or, you know, 2 units on 1 point. He didn't put the pressure on. So, and again, yeah, I make mistakes. Sometimes my opponents do good things. Sometimes I do good things. I'm trying to help you guys learn from anyone's mistake, not just mine, also theirs. He made the mistake of not putting pressure. I made some mistakes early game of rushing my scout without rushing it. I should have rushed my scout sooner, or waited to see what he had. I'm going to say habit. And there's a lot of bad micro on my part, especially with the rocket squads. Maybe let's move on to this one. I haven't rewatched this one since I've watched this one period since I played it. This is a different army of mine, also GDI. These are my 3 GDI armies I'm currently using. I've played with a few new builds since there's new units and stuff going on. and the meta is really shifted from before, and there seems to be a lot of people pushing in those late game units on the lower leagues, but in the higher leagues, I don't see that. This army is still the same as one I had before in the past, where I believe I focus on, usually I try to get units out early on the points to get that first missile, and then I put pressure on him, and I usually could either go for the second missile if I think I could get the field control, or I could skip the field entirely, let him get, or go for the second missile, or even the third missile, and just focus on going after his base, and ion cannon his base twice, while using like jetpack troopers to harass it and take it out. I didn't go destroy his base route this game. I saw the Scarab, I'm like, I could sacrifice my rifleman, but maybe I should bring in something to kill his harvester and then do it. That way I don't give him the ability to build another one or two real quickly. But I didn't actually take out his guy. I should have used them both simultaneously. Again, a mistake of mine. You need to use the infantry at the same time to pitch that guy. And then I brought some more in case he built another one, but I saw that he had a chem trooper. And also, I was not using my Pip-Boy properly. I should have moved it in way, way sooner than that. And then I should have moved it away the moment I saw those Scarabs. That was really... He blocked me off. I was bad micro. It was already dead. I was just like, crap. I knew it even at the time. Like, I just... It was as the mistake was too late, I noticed it. And then I made another mistake, and I noticed it. And, I think I stayed inside of his chem fields with some of my guys. Like, that time, I moved out of it. But I'm also seeing that Scarab. I'm like, I'm ready to move away that Pip-Boy. I'm just waiting for that Scarab to move up so I can run my Pip-Boy away, take a shot as I run away. But then I see the tank, so I'm moving my stuff in. And I do manage to take out the Scarab before it could do anything. And now I'm trying to get all my guys to attack his tank. I've got that first missile. Boom. Advantage to me, even though he still has 2 harvesters out. He's getting a lot of money already. But he's also pumping out those things. He's got a really nice army here, actually, for fighting my army, because my army's weakness is I don't use air. This here is a non-air army, and his weakness is to air. Go figure. So, now, I do use my ion cannons to go after his base so much there on that huge clump of units, because I boxed him in, made him defend his harvesters, kept him off the points, got the first middle, wiped out his army. I've got enormous advantage. I'm going for infantry everywhere to force him into those chemical. I was hoping he'd go for a tank first, and then force him to build chemicals, and then counter with my tanks or pit bulls, but he had went for the chemical right away, so that was... I should have probably built 1 infantry, and then my tank. I went too heavy on the infantry early on, or not early on, but at that point. And so, and he's doing really good using his tanks to double shoot my tank. I try to get mine out of there. I try bringing my infantry to distract his tanks firing, but I take that tank out first. I bring in my other tank at full health, and the other one in. But he focuses on the one that was weaker first, so he did a good job there. Try to get my infantry out of that cloud, throw him on another point, use my tank, take that out. Got jetpack troopers flying across, not to kill the thing on the top left, because I expect they'll lose, but to neutralize it. So even if he had something else come in, if I had neutralized 2, fire the missile with the third one from the bottom right guy. But I ended up taking all 3. So, because he put his money into a obelisk, which, while good for helping with points, you still need units to take the points. If he had moved both of his harvesters into the points, that might work, but then he'd be at a huge money disadvantage. He needed to build units. That obelisk was a bad mistake at that point. If he built it earlier when he had 2 units, would have been beautiful. But as his last units are dying, no. And again, it was a good match, honestly. It just, like I said, his weakness was air. I mean, he could build the cyborgs to deal with air, and he had the Scarabs to try to deal with air early on. But he's got a lot of... Just looking at his army here, the flame tank and the chemical buggy are both very similar. If you have the chemical buggy, you don't really need the flame tank. If you have the flame tank, you don't need the chemical buggy. And he's got a scorpion tank and the rockworm. Again, not something you really need both of. They're both an anti-vehicle vehicle. So he's got like an early game and a late game version of the same thing. So he's very good against vehicles, and he's very good against infantry with 4 of his units. His last 2 units, can deal with air with his early game Scarab from barracks. Another thing, he's got the barracks, the War Factory, and the Tech Lab. That's 3 buildings. You could do that, but I don't think he's fully utilizing the barracks. In this build, I think he could totally drop the barracks and just go for something else. But at the same time, if you drop the, I don't know, there's a lot of different things he could do. I just don't like that he went for Flames and Chem Buggies. I would have picked one of them. And I didn't like that he went for Rockworms and Scorpion tanks. I would have picked one of them. And if he had... his weakness being more air early game, I would suggest for this player, Bloodbath, to... I think he did really well early game. With the Scorpions, he did really well with the Chem Buggies. He clumped them up a little bit much. The Scarab did kind of defend his Harvester. If he's used as defensive and make his opponent build anti-infantry early game, that's great. I would drop the Flame Tank and the Rockworm, because you didn't even get to them. And they wouldn't have done anything different than what you were already doing. In fact, they would have just been slower units. Bigger targets, you know. I would drop both of those two, and maybe throw in something early game to help with air, like rocket squads, attack bikes, something along those lines. And then maybe something for fun, maybe even an air unit of your own out of the Tech Lab. I mean, you already got the Tech Lab going, that way you can have, or you could even run with the Confessors, so you could do like your tanks early on, and then infantry later on, which might throw people off a little bit. And the Confessors could then buff the Cyborgs. I mean, there's a lot of options there, which would make them better at countering air. But you definitely need something early game besides just the Scarabs to fight air. If I had had any air early on, you would have had to go straight for the Cyborgs, or you would have been screwed. Even, like I said, just rocket squads or attack bikes. It doesn't have to be anything expensive or grandiose. And you've already got the barracks you're pumping out early anyway, so that could do immense for you. You could even replace the Scarabs with rocket squads, although with the way you're using them, I don't think you want to do that. Anyway, that aside, that was a note specifically for Bloodbath. And if, hey, Bloodbath, you need an alliance? Join Borg. We're accepting. Booting people who have, like, no points, but, you know, try to keep room so more people could join. Next one, I switched over to my 3rd GDI army in this one because I'm like, wow, that guy had no anti-air. I'm going to pull out my army with air. So, let's watch this one. This guy did actually use a unit I had not fought before. And that's the those GDI new units that, like, bunker down the infantry and they fight from a distance. They're apparently good against infantry and tanks. I don't know which they're better against, infantry or tanks, or maybe they're equally equipped to handle both effectively. So I was kind of like, should I use riflemen? Should I use rhinos? And I used a bunch of air. Because he also had a bit of an anti-air weakness with a lot of his stuff. Not his whole army, mind you, not like the other guy, but with more of what he was focused on. Anyway, and I made a lot of mistakes here again. I got the rocket squads moving in, and I had like a message or something pop up right here, so I actually couldn't press anything. I remember I need to move my rockets. It's like, and then I saw this guy shooting at me. He had to pull back right away, so that worked out quite well for him. And he's bringing in anti-infantry. I've got 2 infantry guys. I'm on the run. There's the Rhino. I've got 2 points fighting over the middle one. Trying to build up that rocket. Because I'm thinking, I'm not doing so well here. Using my power because that's in between both of his group units. So now that will help kill one faster than they can help with the other one. He runs away. They buffed the damage with this last update of the... and lowered the defense of the shock troopers, which is really good. They also made them a lot better against buildings and structures, so I didn't really put that into account. But I moved my Rhino down. I've got my rifleman just holding the middle, which, you know, he ran away to try to take out my Rhino. I've got the first missile. Honestly, He probably should have sacrificed this guy on the bottom right, moved some more people down to neutralize, take 1 point, and I don't know if he would have been able to fully keep me from launching that missile. So maybe he did do the best thing. A lot of micromanagement here, a little bit of sacrificing on my end of people, trying to see what I could do. And then he brings in the air, and I'm thinking I've got air and infantry, so I've got some rhinos in there to push forward. I got my turret pushing forward. Not really pushing, but it was in between things, help me kill some of his stuff quickly. Bringing in the Pitbull now to deal with the air, and in case he starts pumping out vehicles. More rocket squads, because that air is not good against infantry. And they're cheap, and they're really easy to replace. And if I do mess up and lose a rocket squad, it's not the end of the world. But if I take out just one of those orcas, now I brought my air units in because I'm like, oh yeah, I've got air. Thinking that will do really good against his air. That'll do good against the shock troopers. That'll do good against his guys that. Now, obviously, they're not very good against infantry because my rocket squads took them out. Hi, honey. I am recording right now. I'll be done in a minute.